This is the journey to one Africa.
Hey, hello everybody, this is Mika and welcome back to SNOA. Guys, if you're new to this family, please do not hesitate to subscribe and like and follow us on social medias. That's one of the ways that you stand with us and support the work we're doing. Guys, I have an update on the race for AU chair. As you guys know that this time the chair of African Union is supposed to come from the eastern side of Africa, and there are a few candidates who are running for that position. And we here at Swahili Nation, before this procedure started, we were here advocating for PLO Lumumba to become the next chair of African Union, but apparently he's not in the race. And the few people who have been selected to run for the chair of African Union. We come back on another time to talk about what really went down and why the PLO Lumumba he's not in the race for the chair of African Union. But so far we have 3 different candidates who are running for the chair of African Union chair. We have one from Madagascar, and his name is Honorable Richard J. Randriama Ndrato, former Foreign Affairs Minister of Madagascar. We have another one from Djibouti, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Foreign Affairs Minister from Djibouti. And also we have another candidate for the AU Commission Chairperson, Honorable Raila Omoro Odinga, former Prime Minister of Kenya. These are 3 candidates who are running for the Africa Union Commission Chairperson this year. And I just want to read some things here specifically related to Raila Odinga because there's a lot of speculation that Raila Odinga will become the next chairman of African Union. And this is why, because this time the chairman of African Union is supposed to come from the eastern side of Africa, and this is just why. Support from African leaders. Odinga has garnered significant endorsement from several African countries. Notably, he has received support from the East African Community EAC countries, with leaders like President Samia Suluhu Hassan, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni of Uganda, Salva Kiir of South Sudan, publicly backing his candidates. He has also secured endorsement from other regions, including Zambia's President Hakainde Hichilema and Mauritanian Prime Minister Navichandra, after discussion with President William Ruto of Kenya. So as you can see, there's a lot of endorsement that he has already received, but we should not forget that we have 54 different countries. And these candidates, basically, they need just to get support from different countries. So if you receive support from an endorsement from different presidents from the continent of our Africa, you're most likely to become the next chairperson of African Union. But also, Odinga has been on a tour across Africa, engaging with leaders to secure support. Recent activities, including meeting in Eritrea with President Isaiah and in Senegal with President Bassirou Diomaye Faye. These engagements are part of his strategy to strengthen his candidates by showcasing his vision for united and self-sufficient Africa. And what is vision? Vision for AU, his campaign emphasized economic transformation, enhancing intra-African trade, financing independence, gender equality, climate action, peace and security, agricultural transformation, and continental integration. Odinga has committed to reducing Africa's reliance on foreign aid and promoting the African continent free trade area. So I think this is one of the things that is dear to my heart, and especially if you're talking about reducing our dependence on foreign aid. As an African Union, as you know, more than 0.5% of the budget of African Union is actually given by the European Union and America as well, some countries out there. So you cannot fully say that African Union is independent and also is working for the benefit of Africans, because the people who are feeding African Union are not really Africans. So, you know, this has been a problem for a long time. So if you have a candidate who actually promoting that, and it's not just about words, we're going to see the actions, how they're going to come to be unfolded, but we see this all the time, a lot of promises from different candidates, and we don't see anything come to existence. But hopefully this time will be different. But also, there's another thing. Despite strong backing, Odinga faces competition from other candidates like Djibouti Foreign Foreign Minister Mahmoud Al Yusuf, former Mauritian Foreign Minister Anil Gayan, and Madagascar former Foreign Minister Richard James. The need to secure a 2/3 majority vote among the 48 eligible African nations for an outright win present a significant challenge. Odinga has indicated a shift from active Kenyan politics to focus on his continental campaign. Although he has promised not to abandon Kenya politics entirely, his campaign is supported by a team including former Kenyan Ambassador Odembo and Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary Cole Singoi. And some posts on different social media suggest that there's a positive sentiment regarding Odinga's candidates, with some opinion polls indicating he might take an airy lead. However, social media reaction are not conclusive evidence to a broader political support. So guys, these are different stuff, all right? These are different information about the candidates of African Union Commission Chairman, and you've just heard different strategies and different things that Odinga, the former Prime Minister of Kenya, is also running for that chair. And the thing is this, people a lot of time have been asking that, you know, how can we vote for African Union chairperson? You guys, you know that we've been advocating for Pierre Lumumba for a while to become the next chair. But this is the system that you cannot really vote. It's not about you casting your vote who is the next chairperson of African Union. It all lies on the leaders of the continent. So basically, if you're not you're not in good time with your leader, it's almost impossible for your leader to recommend you. So when you talk about Kenya, you have Pierre Lumumba, and also you had Raila Odinga. Basically, the power is within the office of presidents. All right. So William Ruto, he's basically the one who is going to suggest who he wants to become the next, chairman of African Union. And basically, what he did not choose Pierre Lumumba, and he chose Raila Odinga. And for me, I would definitely say, perhaps because of the politics going on in Kenya, Raila Odinga is the main opponent, to, President William Ruto. You guys, when he became a president, they had, they did not have the calm situation in Kenya because Odinga did not accept the results. So he decided to fight against that with the people of Kenya. And, a lot of things were happening there in Kenya. In Swahili, we say machafuko. They were still happening in Kenya. So I could understand why President William Ruto decided to choose Raila Odinga to run for that position. Simply because, it's basically trying to get rid of your opponent. Get rid of your opposition, because Raila Odinga is such a very influential figure, political figure in Kenya, and him just being idle without having any position, it's gonna cause a lot of problem to William Ruto. Just recently they got rid of the vice president of Kenya, and William Ruto, he hasn't been having a positive support from the majority of Kenyans because of what is happening in Gen Z situation happened in Kenya. So basically giving this opportunity to Raila Odinga, it's basically keeping him busy to be the chairman of African Union so that he may continue to deal with the country as well. Because you cannot really deal with these two things at the same time. If you're a chair of African Union, you gotta focus on that, even though it's not that long. I don't know, is it 1 year or 2 years? I don't know exactly. You guys let me know in the comment section. But basically, the entire year or 2 years or 3 years, that means Raila Odinga will be busy dealing with all these policies and all these promises that he promised to work for African Union to reduce dependence of foreign aid, to do with the peace and security of the continent. He'll be dealing with that, all the day long, night and day. And he's not going to really focus on what is happening in Kenya. I mean, he cannot really work for the both things at the same time. And the matter of fact, being the chairman of African Union, for me, I would say it's one of the highest position because you're dealing with the entire continent. Kenya, you're dealing with with one country, but if you're chairman of African Union, you're dealing with the entire continent, even though the power is not been given to the chairman right now that much. They don't really have that influence, but they really have a position that is actually much better than looking at the entire thing of the country of Kenya as well. So you guys, what is happening. Please let us know in the comment section what do you guys really think about what is happening? Who do you think is going to become the next chair of African Union? If it is Raila Odinga from Kenya, if it is the leader from Djibouti, if it is another leader from Madagascar, who do you think is going to become the next chair of African Union, and why? And if Raila Odinga is the next chair, what do you guys feel about that? What are your concern about that? Right now we have a limited number of people who are running for the chairman of African Union. I think we should know their CV, who they are, and their plans and everything. So yeah, I would like to know your opinion, guys, for you guys to let me know who do you think is going to become the next chair of African Union, and what do you guys expect from these chairs of African Union? What should be done? Because so far African Union hasn't been having any voice, to the continent and to so many conflicts that are happening in the continent. So do you think this is going to change anything, having the next chair of African Union, if it's Raila Odinga or other? Let me name the name as well. They're all African, so it's very important to mention their name. If it is Honorable Mahmoud Ali Yusuf from Djibouti, or Raila Odinga from Kenya, or Honorable Randria Matranto, former Foreign Affairs Minister of Madagascar, what do we need for the continent in order for this continent to be safe and secure? Guys, let me know in the comment section. I appreciate for stopping by. Don't forget to love one another and spread peace wherever you are. Ciao. Thank you.